there, this is Jesse Coffey. Welcome to Sunday Filler. Our topics this week include new election reports, namely the final authority of that red tsunami that the far right promised us last month, more of Elon Musk's Carnage at Twitter, Time Magazine's Person of the Year, and a couple of noteworthy events in the literary world that got in the headlines this week. Actually, I'll start off this episode with a cartoon, and then I'll get on with my usual newsreel. A massive headline broke through in the world of animation when we got the first cartoon in 85 years to star Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. It was created by Walt Disney as a successor to Julius the Cat in 1927, and he by works worked on 27 shorts in which he appeared. But when the rights to Oswald were acquired by Walter Lantz in 1928, Walt created a new character to replace him, a guy by the name of Mickey Mouse. I'm sure you're all familiar with him. Oswald's return to having his own series of animated shorts wasn't easy. The road to him getting a new cartoon again began in 2006 when the Disney organization traded ABC sportscaster Al Michaels to NBC Universal in exchange for having the rights to Oswald again. Disney worked hard to give Oswald some much-needed exposure from there, having him appear as a featured character in the Epic Mickey video game series, as well as having him show up at Disney's theme parks and comic books, a cameo in the 2013 short Get a Horse, and as a townsperson in a Toys to Life game called Disney Infinity 2.0. Now he's in the first full-blown cartoon in his own series to be produced since 1938's Feed the Kitty. And to say it was worth the wait is an understatement. Oswald had to have been virtually obscure to many people over the many years that have passed since he stopped being regularly used for short films in the movie theaters. And this is a wonderful opportunity for people to get to know him more. I think I could get away with showing the whole thing. It's only over a minute long and has a pretty simple premise. It's about Oswald falling in love with a pretty young female rabbit he sees on the big screen. On with the news of the week. The first of it has to do with the election. Georgia held a runoff Senate election this week as neither Democrat Raphael Warnock nor Republican Herschel Walker made it to the 50% mark in the state's electoral counter. And it is required that a candidate do so in the state in order to win the election. The winner of the 2022 Senate race turned out to be Raphael Warnock. I prepared for you a montage of his remarkable victory.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pines. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in the peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, oh, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. Whoa, Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I said just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
May I offer you a toast to democracy? And it's back to football for Herschel Walker. In our state selection news, it's back to the anchor desk for Kari Lake. The Arizona elections were certified this week. The new governor is Democrat Katie Hobbs. The re-elected senator is Democrat Mark Kelly. And the new Secretary of State is Adrian Fontes. And the sorest loser of them all is the bitch who did what she was contractually obligated by Trump to do, which was to deny she ever lost the election to begin with, cry voter fraud, and demand a redo of the election, an idea promoted by everyone's favorite sexually abusing Marxist, Caleb Maupin. And nothing worked. Kari Lake lost, Blake Masters lost, and we are now officially a blue state. The red tsunami has been thwarted in all but 3 of the highly contested states, despite conservative media promises of an instant red tsunami everywhere. The only Republican Senate winners were Ted Budd of North Carolina, Hillbilly LG author J.D. Vance of Ohio, and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Most point to Generation C's voter eligibility and concern for the rights of women and minority groups within that generation, which is fair enough. I also would like to thank the fact that President Biden surprised people by actually doing a few of the many things that the left would want a president to do, like passing a minimum wage increase, canceling student debt, codifying civil rights, and ending the war in Afghanistan, as well as the fact that people like John Fetterman, who actually is totally committed to the working people of this country, existed in this election and also happened to be one of the winners in it. The more the Democrats do things for the working people that the Republicans will only claim to want to do, the more likely it is we will see more blue tsunamis in the future. No amount of voter suppression or whining from the Trumpsters about voter fraud will change that. Next, Elon Musk continues his wave of carnage at Twitter.
Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try to sell ya, 'cause it hangs them on to see someone like you. But you gotta make your own.
Life gets bigger when you break from the herd. The Volkswagen Tiguan.
Make your own kind of music.
With easy sour cream, every bite gets better. Every dollop, every squeeze, every moment together. Pop it up, pick it up. You can never get enough when you do $1 for Daisy. Good food tastes better with $1 for Daisy. Do $1, do $1, yeah. Everything tastes better with $1 for Daisy.
Kevin! Oh, nice. Kevin, where are you?
Kevin!
Hey, what's going on? I'm right here. I was busy cash backing for the holidays with Chase Freedom Unlimited. I'm gonna cash back on the gingerbread house.
Ooh, it's got little people inside.
And a snow globe.
Oh, I wish I lived in there.
You know, I can't believe you lost another Kevin.
It's a holiday tradition.
That it is. Earn big time with Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? Chase, make more of what's yours.
Laundry Truce, the bargain jug. That's a huge jug of detergent.
Yeah, isn't it a bargain?
You know that bargain detergent is 85% water, right?
Really?
It's this much water.
So I'm just paying for watery soap.
That's why I use Tide Pods. They're super concentrated, so
I'm paying for clean, not water.
bingo. Don't pay for water, pay for clean. It's gotta be Tide Pods.
For every holiday, for everyone. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
Wendy's new Italian Mozz is fried mozzarella, garlic knot bun, marinade. You know what? You're just gonna want to eat it.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich.
Elon Musk continued to wreak havoc at Twitter headquarters this week. A report came out in Forbes that suggested he was converting parts of the Twitter building on Market Street in San Francisco into staff bedrooms. They are equipped with neon carpets, drab curtains, and massive teleconference monitors, which, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, gives everyone in them the feel of constantly being monitored. Twitter workers were shown with sleeping bags next to them, many of which were placed without any input from the workers, according to one staffer who told Forbes that it's yet another sign of disrespect. There is no discussion, just like beds showed up. This is currently being investigated by San Francisco building officials. Meanwhile, janitors at the company were apparently locked out of Twitter with no advance notice, and they went on strike. Here's a report on this.
Let's turn your attention now to the latest at Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. Today, recently fired janitors protested outside the building, and it comes as the social media platform faces separate allegations of collusion and censorship. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn has the story.
This is against big tech and its collusion with the government.
Conservative speaker and attorney Rogan O'Hanley says he was unfairly suspended from Twitter back in February 2021 for election misinformation. O'Hanley shows us the first tweet he shared and his comment on the 2020 election.
I said election fraud is rampant nationwide, especially in California. There's no voter ID here. And so I said we need to conduct audits.
Twitter suspended O'Hanley after his fifth strike. His lawsuit against Twitter, the California Secretary of State, and others was dismissed. So he took it to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals today. Now he waits for a decision.
I want my Twitter profile restored, and I want tens of thousands of other Twitter profiles restored that were unrightfully suspended by Twitter. Twitter potentially in collusion with the government. We need to see how deep this goes.
It's not the government's job to be the policeman for Twitter.
Also today, we heard from union janitors at Twitter who are now out of a job and now on the street protesting.
Our members voted to call for a strike on Monday at 6 in the morning.
Members were striking for better pay and job protections all day Monday. Monday evening, they learned from their employer Flagship that Twitter decided to terminate all 48 union janitors that work at Twitter.
So what they're saying is we don't want union janitors at this time anymore.
Members say what really stings, that they were considered essential workers during the pandemic.
All of our families are still trying to figure out how will we pay our rent, how will we pay our mortgages.
Senator Scott Wiener showed his support today.
They're in there doing those jobs so that we all have clean offices to go to and clean bathrooms. And they deserve to be treated with basic dignity, and Elon Musk is treating them like garbage.
We reached out to Twitter for comment on the lawsuit and the terminated union janitors, and we have yet to hear back. In San Francisco, Suzanne Fawn, ABC 7 News.
And to think, the moron running Twitter won Time Magazine's Person of the Year prize last year. This year it was won by a far more deserving candidate, Volodymyr Zelensky and the spirit of Ukraine. I think we all know how brave he and Ukraine were in combating the imperialism of Vladimir Putin and the Russian government. Time Magazine's job of picking Person of the Year could not have been a better one for all concerned. Not that Zelensky needs any introduction, he certainly doesn't now. And when we come back, I will tell you about a book signing event involving a debut author who was disappointed that only 2 people showed up, and then was cheered up by some pretty big names in the literary world and beyond it.
And I'm just saying, sure, it's a gift for myself, but this Samsung TV, the Neo Q LED picture is amazing. Even the details have details. I'm having mine delivered.
Get the amazing 4K detail of a Samsung Neo Q LED TV from Best Buy.
Pabst is the place where friends come to gather. A place where the party naturally goes. A place where someone is microwaving a burrito. A place where... a kitchen. It's a kitchen. Pabst Blue Ribbon. This is the place.
Ever wonder why Kit Kats are so delightfully crispy? There's your answer. 1, 2, 3 tasty wafers covered in creamy milk chocolate. Isn't it nice wafers are having their moment? Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
With Sonic's 2 for $5 menu, you get 2 delicious things for only $5. How will you know which 2 to choose? Don't ask us. That's a rhetorical question. And everyone knows 2 for $5 is better than 1, which is helpful if you struggle with decision making. The Sonic 2 for $5 menu.
Sonic.
Do you remember the 25th night of December? Drew up the shirt today.
Welcome to a world where Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus join forces. The Disney Bundle Town. It's not a real place. It's 3 very real streaming services bundled together. Get it all with the Disney Bundle.
Hey, Snotty.
You guys.
Love you.
Just keep on smiling.
Thank you, Mom. You're welcome.
Just keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling.
Now I come to a story that if it weren't my art will warm your heart too. Author Chelsea Banning, not to be confused with NSA whistleblower Chelsea Manning, had a book signing at a store called Pretty Good Books in the Cleveland suburb of Ashtabula. Never heard of that suburb before. For her first book of Crowns and Legends, the first book in a series called The Fight for Camelot. Despite it being a bestseller on Amazon, the signing event bombed at the bookstore. Banning only got to sign 2 copies. She tweeted about her misery on Twitter and got cheered up on it by some very big names who had similar tales to tell. Stephen King tweeted about how he was at a signing of Salem's Lot and how the only signed copy of the book at the event went to an obese youngster who wondered where Nazi books were. Neil Gaiman wrote that he got no one to show up at a Manhattan book signing for his acclaimed novel Good Omens. Jodi Picoult stated that at one of her book signings, the only person who showed up asked where the bathrooms were. Min Jin Lee, who wrote something called Pachinko, noted that only his father's cousin showed up at a book reading. Crime writer Linwood Barclay said he did a book signing at a mall, and the only person who showed up was an old man who wanted to know where the flags were. And it wasn't just the book writers that cheered her up. The Fonz himself, Henry Winkler, wrote that is the beginning. Then word gets out, and they come. Rapper Flavor Flav tweeted, "Yo! Here to hype up your next sighting!" Banning was moved to tears by the response and says it changed how she felt about being alone at the signing, adding that some of the families who wanted to be there ended up being too sick to go. And she is working on a few more signings, and we should all root for her on all of those to collect a great many signings of her debut novel. Coming up next, the attempt at a book event that most of you who don't make fun of right-wing media didn't hear about.
Clooney and Roberts crank up the charm. Let's go. With hilarious bonus content.
We have guests.
This comedy absolutely delivers.
Oh, no.
Ticket to Paradise. Yours to own on digital now. Blu-ray December 13th.
My favorite time of year is finally here. Toyotathon is on. Who's crafty?
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. That's the value you can expect from Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Tis the season 2 hashtag mad. You took it really far, la 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 la.
Wait, is this hashtag twinning? Is that what this is?
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Dial through March 10th on these selected consoles.
It's Santa. We got a problem.
Ho, ho, ho! Ads are getting shorter and shorter.
Do the do.
Hey! Stop it! Wow! Whoa! I didn't even drink yet!
Do the do.
Ah! Come on!
Do the do.
I said the hip hop, the hip to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocker to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. You see, I am Wonder Mike and I like to say hello. There's from the black to the white, the red and the brown, the purple and yellow. But first I gotta
1 Million. Fragrance for Men by Paco Rabanne.
Well, looks like it's time for me to announce my pick for the Dog of the Week, where I picked the worst thing I saw on the internet all week long. Believe it or not, there were 2 stories related to book events this week. I already told you about the one that involved Chelsea Banning, but how about the one involving growing pain star turned Christian right stooge Kirk Cameron? He attempted a story hour for a book he wrote for the wee ones called As You Grow, which he purports to be a celebration of family, faith, and biblical wisdom. Translated to sanity, that means it's yet another attempt by Mr. Cameron to wean anyone who buys his stuff into being the guy who shoves religious hypocrisy down your throat in copious amounts. 50 libraries, mainly in New York, California, and Rhode Island, declined to carry the story hour or haven't responded to requests for calls. One of them, the Rochambeau Public Library in Providence, Rhode Island, went on the phone to tell him and his publisher, a company called Brave Books, that no, we will pass on having you run a program in our space. We are a very queer-friendly library. Our messaging does not align. Of course, this was the cue for Mr. Cameron and his contemporaries in the right-wing media to demonstrate the nothing that they learned from the decision made 8 years ago by audiences across this country to reject his film adaptation of The War on Christmas, which was titled Saving Christmas. By using defense mechanisms such as queer panic, trans panic, critical race theory panic, and even 1619 Project panic, if that is still a thing. Instead of going with their explanation of what happened, I will personally tell Mr. Cameron that the libraries rejected his book because he is nothing if not disrespectful to religious independence and to decent Christians and to parents who want their kids to be raised to be decent and good human beings. And he is no Chelsea Banning. At least her book sounds like something that might actually engage the reader. What will As You Grow engage? Probably only people seeking to lose a lot of the lessons they learned from every major preschool show that's been around since Sesame Street. Alright, now I got a few headlines that I want to get out the door for this half hour that I didn't have room to cover in detail on this show. One is that Brittany Griner got released from a Russian prison. The women's basketball star will be going back to the U.S. and in exchange, the U.S. is sending an arms dealer, a very dangerous one, back to Russia. And the Respect for Marriage Act, which I told you about on last week's episode, has passed the House and now sits on the President's desk waiting to be signed. Which brings us to our end quote. A Republican Congresswoman from the 4th District of Missouri voted no on the Respect for Marriage Act and really bitched and moaned about how bad it supposedly was for everyday Americans.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you my priority. Protect religious liberty, protect people of faith, and protect Americans who believe in the true meaning of marriage. I hope and pray that my colleagues will find the courage to join me in opposing this misguided and this dangerous bill. I yield back.
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
That's it for this week's Sunday Filler. I'll be back next week. Farewell now.